Well, it's really amazing to think that we are literally less than 3 days away from the 8th annual Helping Seniors Car Raffle fundraiser for charity, the charity being Helping Seniors. And wow, I have the privilege of sitting here with Jennifer Barton, who is president of the Helping Seniors organization. And we've been working real hard all year to kind of get to this moment. It's hard to imagine it's just a day or two away now.
I can't believe it. It's here already. We've done so much work to get ready, and the 8th annual, which is amazing too, that 8 years already.
Yeah, Joe Steckler, he's president emeritus now because he said, you young whippersnappers, you get to run with this from now. And it took our board like literally 20 seconds, if that, to say, Jennifer, would you please take over with Joe? And Joe said, that's who I would love to have do this. So thank you for taking this on. We're really excited, though, because Joe had said this is a fun way to raise money for charity because I always say, as a nonprofit, we can only go as far as people help us. And so we're always, basically begging for money so we can do more for seniors. But this is a fun way. He and A.J. Hires came up with this years ago when Joe was building up the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation. And look, here we are. This is our 8th year of car raffle here, too.
It is. And I think it's exciting this year because we're trying something new and we're doing something a little bit different. We're not doing a Saturday night this year. We're doing a Sunday afternoon. So it's going to be accessible for families and for more people and for our seniors so that they can get there during daylight hours, leave during daylight hours. It's going to be a much, safer trek for them. Parking has changed so that we can accommodate them. So I'm really excited for this kind of different version and some new things outside the museum this year as well as inside. So it'll be a great day.
We keep talking about the fact that the car raffle keeps growing each year, and it's grown in a number of different ways. First of all, there's more choices than ever. The cars all come from A.J. Hires, Boniface Hires dealerships, and that's why it's one new car that we get to give away, but the winner gets to choose. And so since A.J. has really one of every dealership that kind of matters anyway, it's a tremendous plethora of cars that you can choose from. And then, like you said, learning, because we had such record crowds last year, we said, well, how can we even take it up a level? And we said, well, let's make it daylight on both sides. Let's make it possible that people can attend in the afternoon so that it's daylight, which means then we can do stuff inside the museum, but we can also do stuff outside the museum so we can spread everybody out a little bit who's going to be there. And then the third thing is, since we're going to do it in daylight hours, let's make it kids friendly. So it's like all kinds of great things coming together for this on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. My dad is already really anxious to go through one of the vehicles that's going to be there outside. I'm not going to give it away. And I'm excited for some of the food trucks. I've got a good friend that's going to have a food truck there, and I can't wait to try her food because I've never gotten to do that before. Wow. So there's just a lot of different things this year to make it new and exciting. And, of course, inside, he's always adding cars. So even if you've been there before, every time I go, it's a new experience, and I see a car that I have never seen before. So it's always interesting.
It's really incredible when you think about it. When you get a chance to get out there, we're so blessed to have Mark Pylock in our community. He's done so much. He's built up those dog parks. He's really been a benefactor to so many charities, not just ours, but he makes it possible for our friends at Brevard Alzheimer's to be able to do the thing. He's always the first one to open up for Veterans Day and things like that. And ever since he's been open, we don't take it for granted, but he's been kind enough to invite us back to do this car raffle. And then literally the point is, you're not buying a ticket so that we can pay for a party because Mark takes care of all of that,
Which is amazing.
Yeah. And he's really a blessing to us, but he's really a blessing to this community. And I always smile because we always get to go in and look at the cars in the museum. And I remember the first year, so 7 out of our 8 raffles, we've done the drawing there. And the only reason was the first year he wasn't open yet. And he invited Joe. He said, you can have your car raffle here. And he's been so kind to let us do that every year. But literally that first year he had 250 cars. Now here we are with our 8th annual car raffle, 7th drawing that's going to be held at the museum. And he's got almost double that number of cars.
It's amazing. I remember the first time we went in, the cars were back to back, in the rows. And then all of a sudden there is a car in between those rows, a little higher so you can really see it, and then double stacks, and talking about triple stacks and quadruple stacks, which is just amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
we were joking with Andrew, who's the gentleman who puts together all the fabulous events there at the museum, and we were talking about like the aisles are getting narrower because Mark just keeps adding cars. So even if you were there last year and had a great time, there's going to be so much new stuff to see this time in the museum.
Absolutely. And they occasionally will turn things around. They will move things around. They have a shop out back,
Yeah.
so they will have worked on cars, brought them back forward, different displays. Always something new to see. And I remember saying, "Wait, I don't remember that car." Well, it was there, but it was in a different location. And for whatever reason, it really caught my eye last year. So you're always going to see something new.
Yeah, I remember, because they've let us come in and play with some of the cars
Which
along the
is
way, and
fun.
aside from the whole Dodge versus Chevy thing, where we've been on Dodge Row and Chevy Row in there, you guys, they've actually given you special dispensation to get into a couple of the really cool cars. I remember you and Ashley Caswell getting into that cool VW microbus, and
That was awesome.
remember
I would love to take that one home.
yeah, I remember you guys doing some time travel in the DeLorean
We
there.
did.
And
We
then they
did.
had this really cool like prototype car they let you guys get in last year, and
I got stuck in it. And since it was a prototype, there was no door handle on my side. I was in the passenger side. So I when it came time to get out, I thought, well, I'm blonde, but I'm not that blonde. and they had to come over and open the door for me to let me out because not everything, which I did not realize when they do a prototype, not everything is there. They're making it to say, here, look at this car,
Yeah.
and if everybody likes it, then we're going to put it in production,
Wow.
and we'll make it complete. But there were a lot of things that were kind of just for show on that car, and that was one of them.
And what a cool car! We're flashing some pictures up of this, even as we've been talking about it.
Oh, that
But
was a fun
what's
car.
amazing is like every car in there has a story. It's not like he just goes, "Oh, I like the color of that car. Let's put it in the museum." There is a story for each car.
Oh, absolutely. The history in that place, even if you're not a car person,
Yeah.
the history in that place is amazing. And the memorabilia, the signs, there's bikes. There's an old Evinrude motor in there, which I love. If you're a Disney fan, you remember Evinrude. So there's so much in there to see, even if you're not a car person.
Yeah, you got to be there. And I was asking about even the front room, which is open to everybody. That's like $14 million worth of cars, because I understand that prototype that's sitting in the center, I think they told me something like Mark had given out $5 million and traded 5 cars or something like that just for that one car, because
Right.
it was that special. This is what we have sitting right here in Melbourne, Florida. And when you get your Helping Seniors car raffle tickets, you get to be out there. You do not have to be present to win. I want to state that. When we do the grand drawing, which now the time has been set, 3:15 p.m., the last ticket sold 3 p.m., and at 3:15, Mark is going to take the main stage, and we're going to see who that ticket number is, and that person is the winner. It's done. That's it. There's no fooling around. It's just that name's it. But if you can be there, it's so much more fun. I was thinking about half the years the winner has been there, and that just takes it to a whole nother level.
It really does. It's so much fun to see the look on their faces and to see them run up on stage and claim and, decide which car that they want. It's so much fun to have them there in person.
And this year there's 7 amazing choices, and that's one of the things you're going to see outside, because we're calling it the Choose Your Adventure Car Raffle, because we were thinking like there's so many great choices, and each kind of represents a different style of driving. There's a Chevrolet Colorado pickup truck, which we call it the hauling adventure, because that's great if you want to go camping, throw your dirt bikes on it, or whatever you're going to do outdoorsy, or maybe you got to help a friend move. I don't know, but that's a hauling adventure, and it's a great car because it's got 4 doors, so you can do everything you do with a car, but still have the ability to haul stuff. Then you've got your personal favorite, the Dodge Hornet. Talk about the Dodge Hornet.
So, I was so sad to see the Challenger go. So I was a little bit hesitant on the Hornet, but after driving it, it's a lot of fun to drive. It's a hybrid, so it gets great gas mileage. I mean, honestly, better gas mileage than I ever anticipated, but it's still zippy.
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun to drive, and you still have space to put things in. So it's kind of the best of all worlds, that car.
And then if you want to keep digging into the list of cars, there's a Jeep Compass. So you've got this whole Jeep thing. If you're out into the exploring and getting outdoors, you've got that as a choice. You've got this elegant Mazda 3 sedan, which is a perfect little, like, I'm going out on a night on the town, or I got a business appointment kind of car. There's those great SUVs. We've talked about, like, whether you're going to throw your paddle boards on top or whatever. You've got two great choices. The Kia Sportage is, we've given away one of those. If you remember, it was a couple years ago, David Odahowski was our winner, and he said that was my pick. And then last year, our winner said, okay, my pick is the Mitsubishi Outlander, which is another one. So she's tooling around in a lovely new Mitsubishi Outlander. But then there's a late addition into this, which we didn't have permission to put on the poster when we all had all that stuff printed up at the beginning of the year, because Mazda had not confirmed it was available. But since then, they said, yes, we give you permission. It's here. You can go ahead and run with it. And that is that really cool, fun little Mazda Miata Roadster. And that's a whole, like, roadster adventure by itself.
Oh, absolutely. Put the top down and go.
Yeah. And we're going to have all cars are going to be right there. They're going to be in front row in front of the museum. So you're going to be able to look through them and decide which car you want to win. Also outside, we're doing a thing because we figured we'd match it up with the whole car raffle, Choose Your Adventure. We call it the Choose Your Adventure Village. And so we're going to have a lot of fun stuff that's going to be out there on the front line that you're going to want to check out and see. So great exhibits for the kids. There's going to be all kinds of things there. I understand there is going to be our friends from Tint World. They are bringing out the Cybertruck. If you've never been up close and personal, that's pretty cool. One of my personal favorites is this guy we've met at a couple of car shows. I call him a guy. He's literally 10 years old. He's 10 years old, and he is a racing machine. This guy is so impressive. He has been racing go-karts since he was 6. So think about it. That's like basically half the guy's life, right? And he's winning those, and now he's graduated into the next level up, and he and his racing team are going to be out there. He's going to bring this car out there, and his name is Aiden the Shark. And I was talking to his crew chief at the Duncan show, and they said, he's in there racing with kids who are 18, 19, and 20. And so they put him at the back of the pack thinking, wow, this kid's just starting out. And he ends up at the front of the pack. And I keep saying, like, I believe we're going to see this guy in NASCAR in 5 or 10 years because, as you know,
get his signature now.
Yeah, and we'll go like, we knew him when. And he's just the cool, and he gave us a tour of the car and everything. Aiden the Shark is going to be out there with us. What a cool guy. And I said, since it's a family-friendly event, not only is it cool for us as grown-ups to be able to see what this kid is doing, he's chasing his dream, but I think it's inspirational for other kids to just go like, don't tell me I can't do that, because I can,
Absolutely.
So it's so cool, and there's going to be so much. We're going to have some of the great partners of Helping Seniors are going to be out there on the kind of the front. I think we've got free copies of adventure things that you can do here in Brevard out there. There's going to be so much to see and do outside the museum as well as inside. And we already talked about Food Truck Road. I know our friends from Dunkin' Donuts are going to be out there. They're going to set up a booth there.
So good to us.
They're going to have, there's going to be our friends from 321 Sprinkle. So if you have an ice cream hankering, it's there.
Absolutely.
Plus, there's going to be some food choices. Your friend with the food truck you were talking about. And I think there's going to be a couple of different food trucks out there. So, and proceeds from that are going to go and help us with the fundraiser. Because again, as we rewind all of this, what do you do when you get a Helping Seniors ticket? Well, number one, you could win your choice of a great new car. Number two, you could have just a fantastic afternoon at the museum. But number three, you really are supporting our work. And, I tell people all the time, one ticket is $25, 5 is $100. And I go, you cannot go get pizza and watch a movie and not spend $100 these days.
Oh, 100%.
And this is so much beyond that because, number one, you do have the possibility of going home in a new car, but for sure getting into, because the only time you can go to that museum is when he's doing a charity event, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
it's such a great fundraiser, but you really are helping a wonderful organization that is helping seniors right here in Brevard County. Over 5,000 phone calls to the senior helpline last year. So much education and information, and when we're out, it's fun to be out there. Even when we're doing ticket sales for the car, people will stop by. Well, I know someone and this is what they need, or I need this. And we can step aside and talk to them about it. And oh my gosh, I am so grateful to know that you're here and this resource is here. I know how to attack my problem now, or I know what to tell my family member, and now I know I've got a place to call if I have another question. And that peace of mind that we're giving people, that's invaluable, and we want to keep going with that.
We say this all the time. Somebody says, well, how do you define what Helping Seniors is all about? And we say it's really about senior navigation, because Joe learned when he built the Joe's Clubs. And when I met him all those years ago, I remember him saying, Kerry, he said, a lot of families are challenged with cognition and things like that are on that scale. But he said, every senior runs into stuff, and it's the first time. They need that navigation. And that's why he envisioned us doing what we're doing all these years later, the Senior Information Helpline. So we're helping seniors and their families every day connect to resources. Another one of Joe's visions we're sitting in right now is Joe's Senior Resource Center, which he said, I need a place where people can get together, find the answers, they can connect with other organizations that are also concerned for seniors, and we can make stuff happen. So it's everything from our education programs to us networking together to make sure we can find the best outcomes for seniors, to even literally when you bought your ticket last year, you are helping us fund where we're sitting right now. We now have a state-of-the-art podcast studio. We can do TV, we can do radio. All these things are made possible because, as you know, even people can come to our center here in Melbourne, Florida. We're in this beautiful space, which is donated by our great friends at Omni Healthcare. They make this available to us because they wanted to get behind the work of helping seniors. But because only a certain number of people are, you're not going to drive necessarily from Barefoot Bay to come to Melbourne to an event, and you're not going to drive from Titusville, but through the media that we do, the radio, the TV, publishing, and the senior scene, we can reach seniors every part of this county. And of course, we get calls from people even outside the county, and we'll try to help them.
Other states.
But we're 100% for Brevard, and that's why when you support us, you're supporting 100% local to Brevard charity, and we need your help, and that's why we're asking you to get the ticket. But it's a fun ticket to get, Jennifer.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. It's kind of a no-brainer. It is a win-win situation. You help this wonderful organization, you might win a car, and you get a great afternoon out.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. All I can say is you got to get your tickets. So how do you get tickets? Number one, you can pop by Joe's Senior Resource Center on Friday. We're not open on Saturday, but it's Monday through Friday. So if you have a chance, you can pop by tomorrow during business hours, get a ticket here. You can go by all Boniface Hires dealerships through through Friday afternoon, and then get your tickets there. Then you can get them online literally up till 3 p.m. Saturday, but they're will call. So after, I think it was after yesterday or so, everything is will call. So we'll have your name on the list. If you order your tickets, they'll have your name on the list, and you will be in the drawing if you go to helpingseniorscarraffle.com, or if you call us at 321-473-7770. And we always say you got to be in it to win it, Jennifer.
Absolutely. Get your tickets now.
Yeah. So we'll see you on Sunday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the American Muscle Car Museum.